very much for flowers. You're gorgeous.
We can see you.
Very nice from you.
You're lovely.
Picture the scene for a second before we dive into any of the specific details here, because the human context matters far more than the individual headlines circulating right now. A wounded veteran, someone who lost a limb, their sight, or their hearing in active service to their country, signs up to compete in the Invictus Games. They do this specifically because one man told them, personally and repeatedly across many years, that this particular cause was his own life's work, that it genuinely meant more to him than almost anything else he had ever publicly committed himself to. And then, in the run-up to the critical 1 year to go milestone for Birmingham 2027, that same veteran spends 2 straight weeks watching headline after headline about security reports, motorcades, and whether Meghan Markle is coming to the UK. They start to wonder whether the man who made that promise is still the same man who made it. Prince Harry has just lost the plot. A lot of people believe that happened a long time ago, but this is the height of insanity. That is the actual emotional core sitting underneath everything that has been circulating this month. Underneath all the specific claims, counterclaims, and dueling interpretations that tend to dominate the headlines. And it deserves to be named clearly and honestly before we work carefully through the actual details one by one. If this breakdown is giving you more than the surface version everyone else is running, the subscribe button helps this channel keep doing exactly that. Hit it, turn on those notifications so you stay completely updated, and stay with me, because the specifics of what just leaked change everything. Let's start with the document that kicked most of this off, because the specifics matter considerably more than the headline version most people absorbed. Last month, according to multiple reports, a confidential security assessment document was delivered to Reignites, the UK government committee specifically responsible for evaluating and making decisions about protection requests for figures who no longer automatically qualify for state-funded security. The document, said to run around 40 pages, was reportedly prepared by a private security firm based in Los Angeles. Here is where the critical detail sits, the one that a lot of the initial coverage did not make sufficiently clear. This report was reportedly commissioned and paid for by Harry himself. He hired a private security company at a significant cost to produce an assessment of the risks he personally faces. According to reports, the document described several alleged threats in considerable detail, including claims of specific plots reportedly originating within Britain itself, references to an actual Al-Qaeda document that had apparently surfaced somewhere within the broader intelligence landscape, and hundreds of separate potential stalking concerns that had reportedly been compiled from various sources over an extended period of time, painting a picture of persistent and wide-ranging risk. ITV News was the outlet that first broke coverage of the report specifically, and from there multiple other major outlets picked up and repeated its central findings across their own coverage. But critics have argued that a lot of that coverage focused heavily on the reported threats without always making equally clear that the assessment came from a privately commissioned document rather than an independent government investigation. The way a lot of people absorbed the coverage was simple. This is real. This is serious. This is why he needs protection. What critics say did not receive nearly the same level of attention in most of the initial coverage is a fairly basic and honestly quite obvious principle, once you actually think about it. When a private security firm is directly paid by the very subject of its own assessment to go and evaluate that same subject's personal risk level, its resulting conclusions should probably be weighed carefully alongside other genuinely independent evaluations, rather than being treated uncritically as the final and definitive word on the actual threat level. According to the account being presented by critics, the government's actual response was notably limited. Reignites reportedly did not hold a new reassessment meeting in response to the report. There was no public debate, no formal review process triggered at that stage, just a quiet continuation of the existing arrangement. He will not receive enhanced security for his upcoming trip to the UK, raising fresh questions about whether Meghan, Archie, and Lily will ultimately accompany him. Then came the letter. And this is genuinely the detail that a lot of people say actually reframed the entire conversation once it became more widely known. After the report, after the headlines, after everything that had been building, the response was reportedly much simpler than expected.